The purpose of the cardiovascular system is to maintain adequate perfusion of the body cells to ensure the delivery of oxygen and glucose and the removal of waste produced by cellular metabolism. This is achieved by pumping blood throughout the closed network of blood vessels within the body. The heart is the major anatomical structure of the cardiovascular system and acts as the pump to keep the blood flowing. In this video, we will be going over the structure of the heart. The walls of the heart can be described by 3 layers. The endocardium is the innermost layer and lines the cavities and valves of the heart. The middle layer of the heart wall is the myocardium. The myocardium is made up of cardiac muscle and is the layer of the heart wall where contraction occurs. The epicardium is the outermost layer. We will talk about this layer towards the end of the video. The heart has 4 chambers which blood flows through. On the right side of the heart, we have the right atrium and the right ventricle, separated by the tricuspid valve. The deoxygenated blood from the body enters the right atrium. When the atria contract, the blood in the right atrium is sent through the tricuspid valve to fill the right ventricle. When the ventricles contract, the blood in the right ventricle will be sent through the pulmonary valve, which leads to the pulmonary artery. That blood is sent to the lungs for oxygenation. On the left side of the heart, we have the left atrium and the left ventricle, separated by the mitral valve. The oxygenated blood from the lungs enters the left atrium. When the atria contract, the blood in the left atrium is sent through the mitral valve to fill the left ventricle. When the ventricles contract, the blood in the left ventricle will be sent through the aortic valve, which leads to the aorta, where the oxygenated blood will be distributed to all other arteries in the body. What you will see me add now are the 2 pulmonary veins coming from the left lung, which feed into the left atrium. Now you can see me adding the aorta, specifically the aortic arch. The pink vessel below the heart would be the descending aorta. And the 2 pulmonary veins coming from the right lung, which also feed into the left atrium. Then, with blue representing deoxygenated blood, I am adding the inferior vena cava, which feeds into the right atrium. And this vessel is the pulmonary artery, which carries deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. And finally, the superior vena cava, which, like the inferior vena cava, feeds into the right atrium. The heart's contractions are powered by an electrical impulse. The pathway of this electrical impulse is known as the cardiac conduction system, which will be illustrated in the color yellow. The electrical impulse originates in the sinoatrial node, located in the right atrium. The impulse travels through the right and left atriums, causing the myocardium of the atriums to contract. The electrical impulse then travels to the atrioventricular node, located in between the atria and the ventricles. Finally, the impulse travels through the bundle of His and to the Purkinje fibers around the ventricles. This is what causes the myocardium of the ventricles to contract. Now let's make our way to the outer surface of the heart. And here we are just adding the outer appearance of the atriums. And just a little bit of fatty tissue on the outside of the heart. The heart works to pump blood all throughout the body, but of course it also needs its own blood supply. Oxygenated blood is supplied to the heart through the coronary arteries. Here I am adding the right and left coronary arteries and their subsequent veins. Now we can talk about the epicardium, or the third layer of the heart wall. This clear layer is representative of the epicardium, which is composed of connective tissue. This is actually part of the serous pericardium. The serous pericardium contains fluid that lubricates the area to prevent friction during the heart's contractions. Finally, we add the fibrous pericardium, which is made up of dense connective tissue. This layer acts to protect the heart and keep it in place by anchoring it to surrounding walls. And with that, our overview of the heart's anatomy is complete. Thanks for watching.